Where can I start? Bulimia swallowed me whole for 13 years. When I met my husband, he didn't know, and from previous relationships, I know this is a conversation you can't avoid. So I want to bring it up at the right time, which is really never. After our wedding day, I take a pregnancy test, and yes, surprise, I'm pregnant. Everything changes, so I tell him the truth, and he said he guessed. One night after dinner, he could smell the vomit on my breath. I thought I had my routine down. After making myself throw up, I would quickly swig and swirl red wine around my mouth to get rid of the smell so he couldn't tell when he kissed me. He said he wanted to say something, but thought maybe it was his imagination. He was easy to talk to. Why didn't I do this sooner? I remember a couple of years back, my ex blurted out in a drunken argument how tired he was of seeing vomit in the toilet bowl when he would go pee. That's how I found out he knew. This statement was shocking because I was mostly surprised that he lifted the toilet seat up sometimes to pee. Anyway, I knew this was the end of my bulimia. I wasn't going to make myself sick with a baby inside me. Your body doesn't belong to you when you're pregnant. In my family, like most Black families, there is a stigma around getting help. Seeking it out means you're weak. When I explained to my mum what had been going on all these years, she didn't understand. She never considered an ED as a mental illness. Then about 8 weeks into my pregnancy, I got so ill. I was diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidarum. I puked my guts out every single day. I was sick when I woke up, when I showered, when I was in the car. It didn't discriminate. I was so sick I had to go to hospital every other week to get IV drips. For the first time in my life, I would pray to keep food down. The word miscarriage was thrown around by the doctors at almost every visit in the early stages. I would get a deep, deep ache when I heard that word. I held onto her tightly. I wanted to experience the fun stories my friends had told me about their own pregnancies. The midnight cravings, the eating for dew. Instead, it was 2 a.m. acid vomiting out of my nostrils and struggling to swallow graham crackers so I could be discharged from the hospital and get to sleep in my own bed. What about the baby shower? Dressing my fat, swollen body in yellow polka dots and hosting a party where I pay for everyone's booze but I can't drink? No, thank you. My therapist reminded me every day that my body was making a human and I needed to be kind to it. Almost every week, my Black mum friends would throw statistics at me. Did you know that Black women are 3 times more likely to die than a white woman for pregnancy-related causes, blah, 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 blah? In my head, I'd be like, I don't need to hear this. I'm pregnant. I'm in recovery. I'm sick. Let's not add the stress of a race-related death, please. But there was no escaping. I couldn't stop thinking about preeclampsia and how Beyoncé had had it and nearly died. If this happened to her, then maybe it could happen to me. I thought pregnant women were supposed to be praised about how beautiful they looked, how their skin was glowing. I was wrong. Almost every week I would get unsolicited messages from people who were A, dumb, or B, rude. Are you scared you're gonna have a mummy body forever? You were so skinny before. Babe, do you have any stretch marks yet? I'm so scared to have kids in case it ruins my body. My advice? You really don't know what personal battles people are fighting. Before you ask a woman about her body, don't. You have to be strong. There are so many other things that play into the narrative of the strong Black woman, which stops some of us from speaking up about genuine concerns during our pregnancy and birth. Why do we praise Black women for how much abuse they can endure? I guess as women we are supposed to deeply bury our trauma, and this affects how we are treated. Things that have happened to me in postpartum. 1. I was voluntarily sick for 4,745 days and involuntarily sick for 290 days. Hyperemesis killed my eating disorder. 2. I'm not driven by my ED voice anymore. Even when it tells me I'm disgusting for not losing the baby weight sooner, I shut it down. 3. I've unfriended and unfollowed all the toxic people that made everything worse. No, it wasn't their fault that I had my disease, but I couldn't grow around them. And 4. Despite everything that I had put my body through, I have made the most perfect human, and every day I am thankful that I have her in my life. And I'm thankful that the body I abused for so many years housed her and kept her safe.